Children's toys that appear to be virtually the same as recalled products remaining on the market. Our national investigative team found that's partially because manufacturers negotiate with the government to dictate many of their own recall terms, which can take months or even years. Factfinder investigator Lee Zurich walking us through one recall that one mom says, if happened earlier and been broader, could have potentially saved other kids from being injured or even killed.
I'm so worried.
A heartbreaking story documented over months on Felicia Mitchell's TikTok account still isn't easy to tell.
It's even hard to get into because, my daughter was dying in front of me.
Kennedy was just a baby when her mother Felicia says she got a hold of one of her 8-year-old brother's water beads. Those beads are often used as sensory toys. They start out so small they look like cupcake sprinkles, easily lost in corners or carpet. But when exposed to liquid, they expand, slowly ballooning in size.
Somehow she ingested one water bead. Just one in a pack that I had purchased that had 10,000 of the beads in the pack, and one of them caused a bowel obstruction in Kennedy's body.
As Kennedy fought for her life, Felicia began waging her own fight after she learned about the Consumer Product Safety Commission, or CPSC.
I found them online and I reported the injury.
Did they get back in touch with you?
They did, yep.
And what did they say?
That they had got my report and they were launching an investigation.
Nearly 1 year after Felicia made her report, the CPSC announced the product maker, Chuckle & Roar, was issuing a recall for the Ultimate Water Bead Kit.
Is that too long for a recall to happen?
Yeah, it is. And before the recall, CPSC was aware of what happened to Kennedy, and they have policies that they are tied up in and that they have to follow. So even before the recall, it was known that these were dangerous.
Kennedy survived, but between Felicia's CPSC report in November of 2022 and this recall in September of 2023, a 10-month-old child in Wisconsin died after swallowing a bead from the very same kit.
We have a mom whose baby is dead now, and now you do a voluntary recall.
And then our team found other water bead kits from that very same company were still available. We bought this one the day after the recall.
The same company has essentially the same water beads, just sitting in a different package.
And we've discovered this one also had an injury report prior to the recall. A 1-year-old whose airway was blocked after he inhaled a water bead from the sensory bin. We asked CPSC Commissioner Richard Trumka about the recall and what was and wasn't pulled from the market. He couldn't talk about this specific case, but part of the issue with most product recalls is the company legally gets to negotiate the language and terms.
And so a lot of it comes down to the company. So if we know that one of those products was associated with a death or with a serious injury, we could go to that company and say, let's recall this, and what else do you have that poses the same hazard? A good company is going to agree to a scope of a recall that includes any similar product that could pose the same hazard, even if it hasn't hurt anybody yet.
By December, the sensory kit was still being sold, but with soft pom-poms replacing water beads. Then it totally disappeared from Amazon, but is still being sold on secondhand sites with water beads, which is perfectly legal because there is still no recall for this particular kit.
So it just doesn't make sense.
I can understand the confusion there, but I can't comment on the specific case.
Is the confusion concerning?
I think with water beads, it's concerning enough that we've warned the public not to have any of these things.
In March, the CPSC issued warnings for more water beads. These particular brands manufactured in China and sold on Amazon. We found more incident reports tied to these specific beads, with parents writing that their children ingested them and needed surgeries. These reports going all the way back to July of 2021, nearly 3 years before a warning.
We don't want it to happen anymore.
Felicia's now hoping for cooperation on Capitol Hill, calling for a ban on water beads.
I look at Kennedy every day, and I think someday you're going to know everything that we did, and that's very important to me.
The company that manufactured the recalled water beads did not respond to requests for comments. The water bead ban is currently in a House subcommittee. The CPSC is also working on a new federal rule to set standards for all water beads. You call us or email our investigators at the address you see there on your screen. We'll look into any of your issues on the next Factfinder Investigates.